Hey everybody, so you join me on a cold, brisk spring morning to look at the new Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross petrol SUV. I honestly had no idea the car was going to be sign written, but yeah, let's crack on. So Mitsubishi have brought the Eclipse Cross out to take on rivals such as the Nissan Qashqai, Skoda Karoq and Peugeot 3008, but have they left it a little bit too late in the running, bringing out the new Eclipse Cross? Well, first impressions are actually quite good. It's got really quite a nice style about it. It's surprisingly angular and has kind of a Japanesey transformer look about it. And when you look at the profile side of it, again, it has a nice combination of angles and curves. That rear light cluster, especially in profile form, does look very Volvo-esque. However, it's when we get to the back of the car that things go a little bit awry. I told you, it's definitely not the best looking rear end, but it certainly is distinctive. First time I saw this, it reminded me of the previous generation Honda Civic, and especially if Honda decided to make a crossover version of that hatchback. It is quite a unique split rear screen design with a spoiler running through, and let's be honest, it will definitely turn heads. But let us know what you think, comment down below, but also in the top right hand corner, let us know what you think is the best looking SUV. So what I've put for this class is the Peugeot 3008, Seat Ateca, Nissan Qashqai and the Eclipse Cross. So please vote and let us know what you think. Now usually at the end of the video I like to thank the dealership for loaning me the car, but as you can see at the bottom of the bumper here, it is all stickered up, and I'd like to thank Mitsubishi Milton Keynes for loaning me the Eclipse Cross. As you can see, their details are all there, so please give them a ring if you want to know more about the Eclipse Cross or look at taking a test drive. Right, let's have a little look at the inside then, shall we? So if you're used to a Mitsubishi interior, you're going to be in for a pleasant surprise. It actually feels a lot more modern in here, and key to that is this new 7-inch touchscreen which sits upon the dash like a BMW. Whilst you're driving, you can also use this touchpad system to operate the menu system, and that feels like it's been borrowed from a Lexus. But unlike the Lexus systems, this is a lot more user-friendly, especially whilst driving. Interior quality has also taken a step up. We've got soft touch plastics on top of the dash and the doors, but it does get a little bit hard and scratchy down below. But to be honest, cars in this class, that tends to be the norm. When it comes to cubby spaces, it's actually not too bad either. You've got a nice sized glove box, we've got room for bottles in the doors, 2 cup holders here, and we've also got a little storage compartment under the armrest. However, I thought this came with a cleaning cloth, but it turns out this is the lining, so yeah, I'll just put that back in there. And you also have a little cubby space in front of the gear lever for your phone. However, it's not quite big enough for something such as an iPhone 7 Plus, and that kind of makes it a little bit irritating because your phone actually sticks out instead of lying nice and flush. But that being said, it is coated in a rubber lining, so therefore nothing's going to be bouncing around everywhere. But yes, I've got to say, well done Mitsubishi for actually making your interiors a lot more modern. So enough about the front, let's have a little look in the back. So sat in the back of the Eclipse Cross, it's a bit of a mixed bag in here. That seat is set to my driving position. I'm 5'7" tall and 5'7" wide, and as you can see I've got a good amount of knee room. However, the issue I have got is with headroom, where I can actually have my head rubbing against the ceiling, so anyone taller than me is definitely going to struggle. There are a couple of nice features though. You do get ISOFIX supports on the outer seats, you do get a centre armrest with a couple of cup holders, although there is no ski chute if you need to load longer items through. However, in terms of practicality, you can actually slide the seats forward to increase boot space. And speaking of the boot, that's actually probably the weak link with the Eclipse Cross. So at 341 litres, the boot of the Eclipse Cross is actually nowhere near the class best. As mentioned, you can slide those rear seats forward, and that does up the boot capacity to 448 litres. Which just beats the Nissan Qashqai, but is still way behind the likes of the Peugeot 3008 and the Skoda Karoq. It's also missing a few features on here as well, such as a 12-volt socket and that ski chute hatch going through the centre seats. That being said, it is a nice square shape, and you should be able to get a bit of luggage in there if you are going away for a weekend. However, it's just a shame it can't compete with the class best. So I'm sat in the driver's seat of the Eclipse Cross ready to go for a drive, but before I do there is something I need to say. and that's the one reason why you should not overlook this car, and it is the amount of kit you get as standard. It is absolutely immense, especially when compared to rivals. If anything, it actually beats its rivals with the amount of standard kit. Now, I'm not going to bore you to death by reeling off everything that the car has, but it is going to go across the bottom of the screen so you can read it at your leisure. The one thing I did notice though is that you can't get sat-nav on the Eclipse Cross, no matter what the trim level or even as an optional extra. And the reason being is, as all trim levels come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, Mitsubishi realised that, well, you've already got maps on your phone, so why do you need a built-in system? So, you know, that's quite good thinking from Mitsubishi, and it might cause other manufacturers to follow suit. There is, of course, the added bonus of it will save you money as well, as you're not having to pay for an expensive system inside the car. But right, now that I got that over with, let's go for a drive. So when it comes to engines, there's only one to choose from, and that's a 1.5 litre turbocharged petrol unit producing 161 brake horsepower. You can have that with a 6-speed manual gearbox or an 8-speed CVT like I have here. There is also a 2.2 litre diesel on the way, and there could possibly be a hybrid in the future. I will say though, with 161 brake horsepower, it doesn't feel that quick. 0 to 60 is around about 9 and a bit seconds, but it just doesn't feel that brisk compared to rivals. If you were to step into something like a Skoda Karoq with a 1.5 TSI and DSG gearbox, it would just feel a little bit more urgent when you're driving. That being said, it is plenty of power and you can overtake if you need be, but then again you do have the issue with the CVT gearbox holding on to gears a little bit too long for my liking, and then you get that infamous CVT drone. Ride comfort wise, well, it's not too bad. I'm driving at 70 miles an hour on a relatively smooth road, and it's handling the bumps and imperfections okay. There is a little bit more road noise than I would have appreciated, and I will say with the huge wing mirrors, which do provide excellent visibility, they actually do create a lot of wind noise also. Steering, well, the steering's actually really light, which is perfect for around town and parking the car. However, I will say that when you get up to speed and you want to push the car a little bit, that light steering does not really inspire confidence in the corners. If you are after a sporty model, then I would recommend the Seat Ateca. But that being said, it is pretty good for most purposes. So I've had the Eclipse Cross now for a couple of days, and what do I think? Well, it's an okay car, but it's definitely not class leading. It is flawed in a couple of key areas. Practicality from the boot and rear passenger space being the two obvious ones, and although I did mention that the interior quality was a step up from previous Mitsubishis, it still is below par the class best, especially cars like the Peugeot 3008 and Skoda Karoq. And it just lets itself down in terms of drivability, especially against cars like the Seat Ateca, which feel a lot more sporty. It is such a shame because it's a very good looking car, back end aside, and it's got a lot going for it. And as I mentioned, don't overlook this car if you are looking for a small or medium-sized SUV, as the kit levels on this are absolutely brilliant compared to rivals. But if you are after the perfect all-rounder, you probably won't be watching this video anyway, and you'll go straight for a Nissan Qashqai. But that being said, if you are watching, definitely look at the Eclipse Cross and see what you think of it. Again, I want to thank MK Mitsubishi for loaning me this Eclipse Cross so soon after the launch weekend of the car. If you are in the Milton Keynes area and have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact them, as I have got their contact details in the description. Again guys, also don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit that red box and subscribe, and also hit the little bell thing so it lets you know when we've uploaded a new video. And also, if you haven't already, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And in the meantime guys, have yourselves a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye.